G'day all, I'm Sharpie101 and welcome to another episode of Automation Nation Survival. How the sniff is everyone today? Today I've got a real treat in store for the fact that I really want to get a better method of building up those mines on the Minefield drones on top of that tower there. And I've been in the testing phase most of this week trying to get this to work out. So what I've got planned to fix that and any other drone itself coming into this docking bay, and then either whether it docks here or not, or goes elsewhere is another thing entirely. But what they'll do is the drone will come right down the middle of this tower and build itself up along its way, or repair itself, however you want to say it. From there, it will then exit out and then go along its own way nice and easy. Don't worry, I'll be explaining and showing everything along the way, as we may even be able to use a couple of the existing GPSs. This one here, not so much, for the fact I'll need to bring it down to allow any of the drones to clear the top of this. Because remember, from point A to point B, it will travel in a high arc up and over to it. So it needs to be as low as possible, and 2 GPS points will need to be as close as possible as well to make sure that they can continue on. But we'll get there very shortly. But let's get over to these Minefield drones themselves very quickly, exactly how I want to explain how it's going to work. So the Minefield drones obviously have the one remote block already smack bang in the middle of it, but I want to move that gyro right here and probably put another one on the top of this timer block and symmetrical on the other side. Make sure it doesn't touch or connect either of those mines, so it still is able to disconnect. And then, as I was saying, replace that gyro with another remote block to enable it to actually have a separate flight path to go down and rebuild itself nice and easily. So let me just get all of these off camera. As you may notice, I have already started doing it. They will be blue for now on, just to show what's been changed on each drone. Alrighty then, so that's one there. Let's go down to the gyro. Awesome, so I want the gyro right there to replace it, and I'll put that gyro there. Let's get my angle grinder out, and that's already good. So that's perfectly exactly what I want it to do. But on top, I will also need to put another timer block in here somewhere. Probably thinking like right there, to be honest. So I'll need another timer block, which will represent the drone's activation on the tower, but instead of going out to trigger the mines, it will be specifically to turn that second remote block to autopilot, among other things that I'll show you very shortly, to do its job and then reprint and then come back and dock up. But let me get all this up and welded, and I'll explain very shortly. So give me a bit and I'll show you in a second. Come back up to hopefully the same drone. Yep, good. Awesome sauce. So what I want it to do, I'll explain it nice and quick here. First of all, let's turn all the tower thrusters on and then disconnect everything. So I've only got one grid to worry about at a time. I need to go into that timer because that's all I can do at the present moment. Rebuild, silent, 1 second. So what we want it to do is we want it to turn on that projector that's on the minefield itself. We also want it to, thinking, turn on the thrusters, turn on the mine mergers. The batteries don't seem to be grouped, but they will need to be there as well, because there's only one, that's why. That will be needed to be enabled on auto, and that should be about everything apart from activating that rebuild remote control that I haven't named just yet. And also making sure that its main remote control is autopiloted off to make sure it doesn't override anything. Nice and simply. And then once that's all done, I want it to unlock and do all of its jobs. So that should work nice and easy. Nice and simply. So let me get all this done, and then we'll get into building up and adding all the stuff to this remote block, which we'll name Rebuild Mine Drone. Perfectamundo. So that might even be better if I cut that and put that at the front nice and easy, so I know. Awesomeness. So I'll be back in 1 second once that is all done. Cool. Alrighty then, now that that's all built up, as we just replaced that gyro that was in the middle with that remote block, as it definitely needs to be smack bang in the middle of that actual drone itself and right above its connector, so it can actually dock back onto the connector itself. I've also added that timer block, as I was saying, to then group them all together, all the Minefield Drones rebuild timer blocks together on one button, to then individually step them out by like 20 seconds. So this drone here will activate, and then the next one will activate 20 seconds after, and then so on and so forth. And then I've just moved those 2 gyros just up the front here, as I've moved that one, and added an extra one just for symmetry's sake, not that it really needs it at all. So hopefully that won't screw with any of the weights on it or anything like that, but we'll see how it goes. Next thing on my list is I really need to get a new GPS. That drone hub approach up the top is perfectly fine, but the one underneath it will not be. So what I want to do is go and turn all of the thrusters on and disconnect all of the drones. Might as well just stand on this one, why not? And let's just control this one drone to go over and above where it is. I'd normally just go ahead and trigger this remote block to fly where I want it to go, but since it's on a really slow timer, it wouldn't get here very fast. So let's go to that timer itself, or the rebuild remote. Let's add this GPS wherever it may be. Here it is, drone hub approach. Drone hub approach, dock approach. Yep, we just want it to go right there. So let's go to autopilot, and it should move exactly there and then do nothing. It should stay right on top. Nice and easy. So what we can do now is we should be able to add that extra GPS onto that remote block in the build to then fly down the bottom. So that's the dock approach. Let's add that one and remove the old. Let's go there. Since we added a new one, let's reset the waypoint and then turn that autopilot straight back on. It should fly right down the bottom, nice and easy. Nice and flat, nice and even, right through everything without touching it. So let's just get my jetpack on and we'll watch it, shall we, as it follows through. Just as a little preview of what's to expect in this episode really very quickly. Oh, I can't wait for this thing. Absolute brilliant idea for the person who commented. Chaos Engineered, thank you so much for this. He mentioned a tunnel welder. Tried that idea, but going forward in a horizontal kind of way just wasn't working for me, as all the mines are on the outside of it. So this is what I came up with, and it is absolutely fantastic. I was even able to obviously entwine it or combine it with the drone hub to then enable all the drones that either dock in this hub or out in my world itself to then use this welding tower to repair them or to actually rebuild these mines like I've said before. So let's get into the GPS and let's delete that dock approach, which is kind of annoying because that means we're going to have to fix up those cargo drones in the background, as that's my next to-do list. Let's fly it all the way down to the ground as far as possible. About yay for the fact that the cargo drone is a little chunkier than normal. So let's go about there. I think that should be good. Let's go GPS, drone hub, dock. Drone hub dock approach, Enterino. Disconnect from there. Excellent. And what we want it to do from there is go out that way. So we want the drone to do a good little 90-degree turn. And then, actually, we want it to flick around the other way because I pointed the wrong direction. Go nice and flat. And then make sure that that's nice and even. Give it a little bit more straight up, as my OCD won't allow it. And there we go. We should just come straight out like so. Nice and close, not too far. We just need to enable it to clear the tower. So let's control the drone one more time, and let's just move it out just a smidge more. Just a smidge, just a smidge. I'll even bring it up just a tiny bit, just to make sure everything is able to work nice and easy. Cool beans. So let's go into control of that drone once more. And add the GPS, that one there, GPS with a /. What are we going to name it? Clear? Welder Tower clear. That should be alright. It's adding a lot more GPSs to the world, but I think it should be okay. So from there, it should be alright, as it should go straight up to the that one up there, and then over to that. So what I can even do is go ahead and get into the remote block and get to the rebuild. Let's remove that. What we want it to do is we want it to go out fully. And then what's this one numbered? This one is 5. We want this to go back onto its normal dock on the tower of 5. So let's just find that one very quickly. Oh, there it is. And we want it to secure dock. Nice and easy. Good. That should be everything. So I should be able to go to the remote, go to the Minefield drone, in the rebuild, sorry. Drone hub out fully, and then that, and then let's go. Goodbye. So as I said, it's on like a 3 kilometers an hour speed of that remote block, which is why I needed the second one, just to have a much easier way of alternating the speeds. But FYI, a little note, when you're using 2 remote blocks, make sure at least one of them is the main remote control. Otherwise, you can't do this. You can't go and control it at all. So make sure that is noted for the future. Let's let that do its thing and get back to this. I need to add all of that stuff to those drones as well. I'll do that off camera, as I've added the timer blocks, etc., what I've shown up here, without actually programming the stuff and things. So what we want to do is get on the floor so we're not using so much hydrogen. Get into the rebuild. Alright, here we go. This is where the fun starts. Tower approach. And what number is this one? This one's number 6. So it then needs to go back onto dock 6. Back onto dock 6. So what it will do is it'll fly up, go over above the welding tower, go through the welding tower, clear it, come out of the actual drone hub hole itself, go over above where we are now to the tower approach, come down to 6, and secure dock. Meh, dude. That is a lot of confusion, but a little visual on to explain it. What I've got it to do is it will go from its dock where it is now, obviously without the mines from being triggered. It will fly up to the actual tower approach, which is just above the tower. It's not shown, it's hidden at the moment. Go over to the drone hub approach, go through the welder tower once it's all built up. Obviously, we'll build that up with the welder drone very shortly. Come down to my misspelt drone hub dock approach. Come over to the clear the whole of the drone hub with the drone hub out fully GPS. Come over to the tower approach, GPS again, and then back onto its respective GPS docking position. Whew, what a mouthful. Alright, so let me get all this programmed up and I'll get back to you once more. Yippee-doo, programming is good fun. Repetition. Practice makes perfect. Alright, I'll see you soon. And P1, if I can find it. P1, good. Alright, so it should go up, above, over, down, out, out fully, come back over, and then secure, stop. Nice and simply. Awesome sauce. Alrighty, now that they've all been done, changed up and programmed and things and stuff, I'll explain very shortly how I've done it all, but it should be rather simple once you see it in action. So next thing, we need to get this tower all welded up, so I'm going to actually fly down there, because I might as well. Just like so. And I'm going to remotely access the main base. Let's go into the welder remote, that one there, and control it. Let's make sure the thrusters are on, batteries off recharge, and let's get going. I have already loaded this up with a few little goodies that I can just go back and just top back up, but let's get this thing up and running, shall we? I'm super excited to get this going. The amount of tests and what I've done this week has been pretty crazy. Alright, come on. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's get it done. Oh. Now, I've specifically done this height as it allows most of the drones to be passed through and it being able to weld up as much as possible, if not all the way. Mainly for the mines on the Minefield drones themselves, but yeah, it should be alright for the rest of them, as it should help me out more than enough and to speed things up. Cool beans, seems like we've already run out of stuff, so let me get this all welded up and I'll be right back. Pulls it in for a drift. Too far. Alrighty, a few trips later, and that's all done with our handy dandy welder drone. That thing is absolutely fantastic and just makes absolute beautiful work and quick work of anything in its way. I'd love more cargo capacity on it if there was a problem I had with that welder drone, but anyways, I will eventually off camera get rid of these junctions themselves, so it doesn't make my CPU do too many calculations for each of those sides compared to like the two-sided conveyor tube just there. So let's get into testing this out for the very first time, but you may notice we might have a bit of a problem as all of these drones are already finished. That's alright, we can fix that right up, shall we? Let's go into here and go to the drop, back, left, and right. You ready? Steady, and bye. Much better, much cleaner, don't you think? As we watch them fall gracefully to the floor. And hurt myself in the process. I'm awesome. Don't care about the resources, I just want to see if this works, because I can always get more resources nice and easy. But triggering that all over again would be very time consuming. Alrighty then, now that that's triggered in the most hilarious way ever imaginable, I hope you enjoyed that one. Let's get into triggering one of these drones up randomly, as they're all 20 seconds apart, and I don't want to have to wait 20 seconds and I'll just make an absolute great time lapse as per usual, with the whole tower being triggered, and I'll do some damage on them, etc, so they actually get welded up, and we'll see the results. But let's see what this one does. So this remote block again is on 3 meters a second, nice and slow, just to make sure it has enough time to go through the welding tower itself. The timer block will also turn all of these thrusters and the battery, the merge blocks, the projector, all back on after being turned off from being that secure dock timer, activating when it comes back to the tower once being activated along there. So what it would be doing, it'd be coming back after dropping the mines, dropping back off. I'd then trigger this timer block, or these timer blocks on the tower as a group, to then set off or even start them, particularly as they're 20 seconds apart. to then come over here and do exactly what this minefield drone is about to do. Let's see how it goes, and let's see what it can, or what will be built, as this will be quite interesting. Here it comes. Hopefully they're all on. Yep, good. Make sure they're all on. Here we go. Test. Here we come. It's building. That's always a good thing. Is it going to build at all? That's always the question, though. Or, looks like it did, maybe. Did it? Did it? Should then come out without damaging anything. Nice and easy. Yep, because I remember I moved that GPS nice and close. So imagine if I didn't move it. And we go 100%. Look at that. Ladies and jelly beans. 100%. So obviously it'll come back up to that drone hub out fully. Over to the tower approach. And then down onto its respective dock nice and easy. And then just secure dock timer it up in that house. Nice and easy. Be good. So we'll just follow this back over. Might even speed up the footage in my editing later on. Thank you, Editor Sharpie. So here it comes back to the tower approach GPS to then come down onto its respective dock nice and easy. As if it was just built from the temporary base over there. So it should come all the way down onto the connector. Let's get rid of all those GPS and all that crap on the HUD. That's one thing I hate about drones and things like that. I wish there was an ability to hide GPSs. Similarly, what you can do to blocks in the terminal, if that makes sense. So if I just go into the GPS, if there was a way I could hide certain ones from showing up in this list, that would be awesome, as you can only show it up on HUD, always visible, delete new. You can't hide them as if you were going into the control panel of this, for instance. And for instance, I wanted to hide that. I'd just do show block in terminal. No, not anymore. Thank you very much. So now it would be then grayed out when I press this button. So it would not be in this list at all. For instance, I don't want any of these tower welders on that at all. So since that is now gone, that shouldn't be anymore. Look at that, no more tower welders, nice and clean. Don't worry, I will organize all this and rename and do all that off camera, as I've been meaning to do it. It's just very tedious, and I guess I've been procrastinating on it. But that's exactly how it works. The patrol drones work very similarly, as they come out to their if I had one up, I don't actually have one up. Let's go this one here, just for an example. Here we go. So this one here, it would then fly up to the 2A, where it would normally do the circle on its patrol route, go over to the tower approach, and then down the actual welding tower, back out to the tower approach again, over to the 2A, back down to its dock, nice and easy. The player drone is very simple. Once more, just goes up, over, builds, come back over, and it secures docks back up nice and simply. Oh, now that that's all explained, I really need to get into setting these drones up, and specifically this one right here. Alright, that took a little bit of work, but let's get to triggering this up, shall we? So we want it to go over to the drill. I need to turn all the timer blocks on again, so let's just disconnect it. Get all these timers to stop to make sure they're not going to trigger anything else. All these are on auto. Go down to the unload and start that. And lock up. Nice and easy. Good, 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 good. So this, it's much easier for me to trigger it and show you than me to explain it. So let's get to here and let's see if this works. I should probably do a quick save, to be honest. And trigger that one. Let's see how we go. So this should normally go over to the drone hub out 1, straight back up like in the last episode. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out right after this one. Lots of goodies in all of these episodes in this season so far, if I do say so myself. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you do like my content so far. Let me know in the comments constructive criticism, good, bad, and the ugly. Let me know, or even in the comments below, just say hi. I'll say hi back. Love saying g'day to everyone. So normally, yep, straight back over to the actual drill. And editor Sharpie, with my editor hat on. We'll probably do something fancy here. Uh-oh, not good, not good. Or I could just kill myself. Because I forgot jetpack. That's kind of funny. Alright, let's just get some bottles very quickly. And then zip back out there again. As we watch it come down. That was interesting. I've been waiting for that, as I've been in my testing game this whole time. For like a long time. Here it comes. Comes on down nice and easy. Hits that drone approach, that drill cobalt approach GPS we made. Comes down nice and easy. Starts up. It didn't have time. Alright, let's take 2 and try again. Alright, that was completely my fault, and that's all because I forgot to add the extra autopilot off on that remote control when it gets to the docks of the drill and the base. So let's connect this back up, and this should be well and truly fine. Oh my god, really? I'll be back in a second once I've got this again. Let's just go grab one or a few. There we go. Give me some. Power. Rust. So now that should be good to grow. Let's get into triggering that up, and that should work all goodly now. Here we go. Once more, drone hub out. Straight up to the drone hub out fully. Can even save a bit of fuel and just go like this. Here we go. Let's take a ride with it. Watch it go over. Here we go, coming on down. So I chose this specific cobalt patch for the fact that it was the most shallow out of any of the other ones I could find. So it's 20 meters down, so this drill will take a little bit to get to it. But in the meantime, I can just get all these drones over here and just take every single little bit of resources out of this thing. So it reaches the drill approach, comes right on down to the drill connector and locks up nice and easy. Waits 2 minutes and then goes back over. So let's just skip that 2-minute timer and get it to go back to the base really easy. Go. And my jetpack off again, and let's do another speeder uppery. So before we get to the Welder Tower, I will obviously have to jump off this, otherwise I'm going to get cooked. So I thought this was just an absolute bonus. Having it right in the middle of this drone hub itself is going to enable me to just rebuild and fix a lot of drones, even when they're on their normal flight path. So here it comes to the actual drone hub approach once more. Straight on down the middle of it, or as much as possible. Let's not lock to it anymore so I don't kill myself. Hopefully it's got enough time to slow down. Oh, yes it does, just excellent. Comes over here. Awesome sauce. Look at this. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. And as promised from episode 1, let's get one of these up and going to get it all good. Super excited. Very simply, the way this works is that if I press this button, it will actually, let's just do it right now, just resets it, so it enables me to have access throughout the entire hub, so I can pull the resources like that. If I press this one here, it will pull all the ores or whatever are in these containers here back into my main base without me falling off. This one here pushes everything back out, and then this one here resets absolutely everything. The way I've got that is that all of these buttons will just turn each of those individual timer blocks off in retrospect to what needs to be turned on. So right now I just want to reset. Awesome, that's what I want. Cool, good. Let's get this finished. Here we go. Oh, this is the moment of truth, which I'm gonna need to go into recharge and specifically name it 1. Doesn't matter what it is. Don't like that noise. I'll have to figure that out in a minute. What is that noise? Alright. Stop getting distracted. Recharge. Here we go. Put that right there to trigger. Let's get the... Oh, we'll get the rebuild on another button there, off camera. Otherwise I've got to rename and all that sorts of stuff. So let's get into it and let's press this button, because I need cobalt. Let's go into my remote access and access this auto drill rig that's over the cobalt, and let's start it up just by going boink like that. So I'll grab the spectator camera. Where are we? Here it is. That should be all good. Or not, because I didn't put the advanced rotor. There we go. Now it's going. It's much more stable with that rotor lock on when moving it. Otherwise the arm just moves around really funnily. It's not really fun. It's quite hard to control, to be honest. So that cargo drone will do its business, and I can send the other 3 on their way. Awesome sauce, look at that. Like, and then it will come back if it gets damaged from being attacked or whatever. It will build itself nice and simply. Oh, that's awesome. I can even chuck like a sensor or something like that on one of these blocks to detect a grid, so it will turn on all these welders or that welder group, so they're not always on and not always draining my base's power, because there's a lot of them. But that's for another day and time. So as we go up here, let's get a nice good position for the sign off. Without cooking myself would be good. Alrighty then, as this cargo drone finally comes in for the last thing, stay tuned till next week when we get into some massive base armor and hangar doors that I've got planned for the solar arrays and much more. As always, if you like my designs or want to know more, then check out the description below for all the download links and heaps more. But I'd also appreciate it while you were there to like and comment with your questions or thoughts, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I really do appreciate every second of it. I really appreciate everyone watching today, so thank you once more for that. But once again, thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp till next time. Awesome, look at that. Switches the batteries over to recharge, pushes all the resources out of it, then that means it should go into the bottom there, and we should be all good. Oh, I'm loving it. See you guys, till next time.